بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Dear viewers and listeners, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In this segment, inshallah, I'll try to complete up till the ayat 20 of Qur'an, and after that of Surah Al-Baqarah. After that, the ayat 21 starts with the purpose of our sending on this earth. The humans' descent on this earth will be discussed, but before that we have to complete this. So many ayats have been dedicated to the mention of the hypocrites. Why? Because hypocrisy is a great disease and it needs more attention, and this is like sleeping enemy. You don't know when he will attack. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned in many ayats. He dedicated only 2 ayats to the non-believers. Those who reject faith outright, well, they are enemies or they are not enemies. So they are again the kuffar, all kafir or all rejectors are not enemies. Some rejectors would not combat, would not fight Muslims and would not undermine their life. They have to be protected and they can be living in peace with Muslims. But those people who combat, then there is the treatment of that which is discussed in many parts of when someone attacks you, then you attack and you defend yourself, and that's jihad. That's qital of the jihad. Jihad is again misunderstood. Jihad, as I mentioned, the first jihad is with your own shaitan, with your own evil. Next jihad is da'wah of Islam. Do hard work in the path of Allah to spread Islam, to give the message of God to the people, because these people are like family of God. God is not their father, but he is kinder than a father. So father is not a befitting word for Allah, but it was used in the Old Testament and the New Testament, but Qur'an has not used it, and rather it's been told lam yalid wa lam yulad. He is neither father nor a son. So there is no father, no son of God. So it brings us back to his real position as creator. So we are his creation. He loves us. That's why he created us. So we should love him most, and we should believe in him. And when we believe and worship him, then we get the benefit. We become successful. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us the successful people, then the people who reject that path of Islam, not the straight path, and those people who are in between, they outwardly are believers but inwardly are not believers. So Sayyid Anwar Shah Kashmiri rahmatullah alayh, he did this very beautiful analysis that the belief and the action, the distance is the same. You start from the belief and go to the actions is the same distance, and that is called Iman. So Iman leads from belief, faith into practice, and Islam is you start practicing and it goes back to the faith, it strengthens the faith. So the journey of Islam is practicing and belief, and the journey of Iman is believing and practice, and those are both are the same. So Iman or belief, or a person being mu'min means a believer, but believer should be a practicer. And in the same way, Muslim is one who is practicing Muslim. He should also be a believer, because without belief he can't be a practicing Muslim. So some people have this common usage of word, he is a practicing Muslim, he is a non-practicing Muslim. Well, Muslim means practicing Muslim. A believer is called mu'min, but just abstract believer is nothing. Like someone says, I believe in God. There is some group of people who are called deists, who believe in God, but they don't believe in accountability, they don't believe in religion, they don't believe in worship. What kind of belief in God is that? God is there for nothing. Why do they believe in God? But God is there, God who is a king, who is a ruler, who is the master, who is the creator. Then what does he want you to do? Why did he create you? So purpose of creation and our life is not connected with him if you don't do anything which is given by God. So to believe in God is only completed when you practice the way he is sent down his orders and to follow that, and that has been given through his prophet. So that's why Islam is the right belief in Allah, that we believe in God as creator, but we have some duties towards him. his rights which we have to fulfill as our responsibilities, and this makes us Muslim. So, Muslim is a person who practices Islam and has also Iman, because he is practicing to strengthen his Iman, to prove his Iman. He believes in something, but how does he prove that he believes? He practices. If he does not practice, it means his belief is in hanging, is a kind of abstract something. He just keeps in his mind and not applies on his body. So, the people who are Muslim and Mu'min, believer and practicer, is one category, straight path, Muttaqeen, Salihin, pious people, they are mentioned, non-believers are mentioned, and now the hypocrites are mentioned, and Allah is giving two examples, to what you can say parables about them. Examples are parables. Parables might not necessarily mean stories, but examples of some action which can be done or which has been done. So, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ اشْتَرَوُا الضَّلَالَةَ بِالْهُدَىٰ فَمَا رَبِحَتْ تِجَارَتُهُمْ وَمَا كَانُوا مُهْتَدِينَ. So, these people who tried to gain something, they have actually lost. So, they have purchased error for guidance. So, they have given lip service to the right cause, they have not done it into with their heart. So, they have actually lost the guidance, they haven't got the guidance. So, they have earned error, and so their commerce or this profit is not beneficial for them, it is not profitable for them, and in the end they are not guided. So, who is the loser? They are loser, because they have not got the guidance, they give it lip service. So, this is worse than even rejecting it. So, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then gives the examples. One example is مثلهم كمثل الذي استوقد نارا فلما أضاءت ما حوله ذهب الله بنورهم وتركهم في ظلمات لا يبصرون صم بكم عمي فهم لا يرجعون. One example, that the example is as the likeness of one who kindled a fire. So, the explanation of that by many ulama is that the Holy Prophet who kindled a fire in the darkness of night in the desert, someone needs fire, fire for cooking, fire for light. So, the Holy Prophet kindled fire in this darkness of Arabia. Then when it lighted all around him, Allah took away their light and left them in darkness. So, their light, those people's light who were around him, if they are left in darkness, their light is taken off. So, that their light, what could be? That their light of the eyes has been taken off, or they can't see that light, they can't benefit from the light. So, the light of Islam is lit by the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but around him those munafiqeen, the hypocrites who give lip service and not believers in the at heart, they have not benefited from it. So, they could not see. So, they are deaf. Now, deaf is not physical deaf, they can hear, but they cannot hear the truth. They are dumb, not physical dumb, they can speak beautiful eloquence, but they can't speak the truth. And blind, they cannot see the truth, they can see. So, this is a virtual blindness, or you can say metaphorical blindness, blindness of the heart, blindness of the mind, blindness of the soul. So, they are not entering the light into their soul, into their inner core. So, they return not to the right path. فَهُمْ لَا يَرْجِعُونَ, they are not going to return to the right path. So, that is why hypocrisy is to be taken great care of. One should not have any tinge of it. And the Holy Prophet ﷺ said that a person who does not keep his promises, tells lies or quarrels and fights and uses bad language, these are also elements of hypocrisy. Because if a person is used to have many faces, then he can't be true with himself. And many people who are in the acting industry, they have said, profess that they don't know who they really are. They have so many faces, so many apparels they put on every time, that they have lost their own personal identity. So, be true to yourself, accept what is true, don't accept what you don't want to accept, and if you clarification, go to the right people, get guidance, but please don't be hypocritical. Don't make two faces. Don't say things which you don't believe in heart. So, if you are truthful to yourself, you eventually will get to the right path and you will get guidance. So, these people missed the guidance because they did not mean to get the guidance. They just wanted to have a superficial temporary benefit, economic benefit, because the Holy Prophet and the Muslims were the ruling class in Medina. The first state was being formed. So, these people wanted to have some material benefit. Eventually, they were eradicated, they were ousted and they were chucked out, but this is the time of the Holy Prophet. These are the ayahs which are warning against the hypocrites, and that is how the munafiqeen were dealt with by the Holy Prophet and by the Sahaba as well, by the Khulafa Rashidin as well at a later time. Because Sayyidina Umar, he would ask one Sahabi who was very much close to the Holy Prophet, who had some secrets of the Holy Prophet, which were not for general purpose, but they were just personal knowledge. And he would ask, I have made the governor, Sayyidina Umar would ask him, I have made these governors, do you find that any of these governors, to your knowledge, which the Holy Prophet gave you secretly, is any of the governors as hypocrites? And he testified, no, none of your governors are hypocrites. So, he was happy that Alhamdulillah, we have no hypocrites in the governing position. So, how come that even some so-called Muslim, they say Nauzubillah, Sayyidina Umar or this great Sahabi or the rulers of Islam or the Muslim community or the earlier Khalifa of the Holy Prophet who are given Khilafah according to the promise of Allah, Nauzubillah, they are branded as hypocrites. Astaghfirullah. Astaghfirullah. So, this is a disease and we have to actually dialogue with them, talk to them and clarify this disease, uproot this disease. If they cannot uproot this disease of slandering the Sahaba, then leave them to Allah and Allah will take away that disease. This another example Allah has mentioned, أو كصيب من السماء فيه ظلمات ورعد وبرق يجعلون أصابعهم في آذانهم من الصواعق حذر الموت والله محيط بالكافرين. Or like a rainstorm from the sky, wherein is darkness, thunder and lightning. They thrust their fingers in their ears to keep out the stunning thunderclap for fear of death. But Allah ever encompasses the disbelievers, that is, Allah will gather them all together. So, there is darkness, thunder, lightning, heavy rain. Now, they are in danger and now they are putting fingers in their ears to keep away from the thunder, from the noise, and they are fearing death. يكاد البرق يخطف أبصارهم كلما أضاء لهم مشوا فيه وإذا أظلم عليهم قاموا ولو شاء الله لذهب بسمعهم وأبصارهم إن الله على كل شيء قدير. The lightning almost snatches away their sight. Whenever it flashes for them, they walk therein, and when darkness covers them, they stand still. And if Allah willed, He could have taken away their hearing and their sight. Certainly Allah has power over all things. Inna Allah ala kulli shayin qadir is the end of this ruku. So, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving this second example, that people in heavy rain, darkness, thunder, lightning, fear of death, and they are there, but there is a little glimmer of hope whenever they hear the Holy Prophet recite Qur'an, say salat, they go to the salat, they meet him, there is a glimmer of lightning and they walk. They walk a little bit on Islam, but then they are overcome by their misguidance, their own personal benefits, their own petty interests by which they want only this world, they don't want hereafter. So, these people are the real losers, munafiqeen and the hypocrites. So, hypocrisy is such a disease, Allah has mentioned it in detail here, and these were the, you can say, the ayats which disclose the qualities of the munafiqeen. That is why the Holy Prophet ﷺ took great attention, paid great attention to these munafiqeen. And as I have mentioned, in Medina, when the Holy Prophet established the state, and of course, this is very much upsetting for so many other non-Muslim powers. They don't want Islamic state, they want Islam, they can respect Islam. They don't want Sharia, as a rule. They don't want